Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the Vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the Vault, episode 626. No social security number, lifestyle. Definitely thank everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. This is the Vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Once again, definitely thank you for tuning in live, listen, replay, episode 626. So, definitely wanted to do this episode. It was uh, this, you know how we end up doing. We do episodes based off of consultations and things that happen over at the vault. So, we're just gonna go ahead and address something that it comes up a lot, and we are prefacing this episode saying that there are a lot of trustees that have gone through the training program. This message is for you. And then there are people that haven't gone through the training program and they may get caught up in this thought process. So we're going to address it. We're going to have a conversation today. What we do want to address in this particular episode, no social security number lifestyle, is that the fact that there are many people that reach out to the vault and say they're going to go private. A lot of people say they want to go private, but they still think they own a social security number. So we're going to address it in this particular episode that they think that they own this social security number. And even after they say that they're private, they still have a social or they still consider owning it. So we're going to share a few different scenarios where you don't, ladies, you don't even want to know that there are people. It's an intelligence level with this information, ladies and gentlemen. It has to be because it's like somebody reading a book. Two people could read the same book, but not both of them are going to get the same thing out of the book. So this is the same thing with this information. Two people supposedly going to know about a trust. Two people going to know about a foundation, but not everybody's going to be able to execute, or not everybody is going to execute. Not that they're not able to. Everybody's not going to execute. So let's talk about it today. Let's talk about it in this particular episode where we've had trustees reach out to us numerous times and talk about going to open up the bank account for the trust that their family estate has, and then they tell you, oh yeah, well I got stuck in the bank because I didn't want to give out my social security number. So we sit on the line with these trustees year after year, week after week, day after day, and they keep end up taking ownership of the social security number. First of all, can anyone prove to us on the internet, you can send an email to us, Christian at trustchristian.com, that you have a social security number, meaning that you actually created it and you own it. So what happens is a lot of trustees will say, "Oh yeah, Trust Christian, you're right. I don't have a social." But what they do is they have unconscious, subconscious ownership of a social security number. So they think in lifestyle that they don't have a social. It's only until their benefit. It's a temporary thing, and remember, key word is to their benefit. So that's why it's gonna change, or the level of receptivity, the way things are done in the public, the way that they're going to be reacted to it based off the fact that somebody hasn't let go of ownership. Most people have ownership. Oh man, I own the social security number. Well, and then we have trustees that will say, oh, well, I'm going private. So if you're going private, then you don't have a social. So they'll say, well, I don't have a social. You're right. You do utilize one? Sure. But we got to have this conversation for adults, because this is one of those conversations where it seems as though adults want to condemn other adults for their lack of education. And in all actuality, it doesn't work that way. For us that are on the private side that know how to operate properly, we know. We're aware. We're taking the proper actions. What's going on is that we're running into people that are in the public still operate in the public, and they want to play the game and they're playing it dirty. Dirty meaning that, oh yeah, Trust Christian Vote, I'm going private, but then they'll sit on the line and say that they have a social security number. Then we got a trustee recently goes to the training program and says, oh yeah, I was trained not to use my social. See how they said it? I was trained not to use my social. Right. You weren't trained from the vault to not use your social. You were trained in the vault that you don't have to use it. You don't. But in cases of business purposes, this is where, once again, we get trustees that come back to us. They'll say, all right, Trust Christian Vote, what are you saying? Should we not use it, or should we not own it mentally? First one is own it mentally. The second thing is think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Most people in the public are not wealthy. They're not uber rich. So how are you going to stop using the number for business purposes if you're not rich or wealthy? The reason why you're utilizing it is to put yourself in a position where you don't have to use it. But it seems as though sometimes people will come in and blame the vault. Oh man, you told us that we don't have to use a social. We don't have to use a social. Well, okay. If you don't have to use a social, what are you going to do? Oh, I could do this and I could do that. I could do this and I can do that. Nah, not from what we've seen. And it's funny because all these people talk about, oh, the passport, traveling internationally, this, that, and the third. How many of them don't take ownership of the social? They don't. Most of them have a social. Most of them use a social. So that's the question. The question is, are you taking ownership mentally of a social? And many people do. Because remember, people are around people that are using the social. They ask for it so often, people haven't mentally let it go. It's a mental thing. It's not a physical thing. It's a mental thing. So they speak about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna share with y'all how y'all speak about it. So you can say, oh man, when you hear when you hear yourself speak like this, you can say, okay, I'm gonna correct my speech. I have a social security number, my social security number. Um, those are your main ones. I have a social, my social. They'll get people in the states where they'll be like, well, aren't you a citizen? So you're supposed to have a social. That's not true. Oh, I got a passport. Does that mean I have a social? That's not true. So why do people take ownership of the social? Because they want a benefit. They want some benefit. Y'all don't want to hear that. The trustees that are adept, the ones that are at least even trying, no one wants to hear that. Oh man, I don't want to own the social. You do. Most people want to own the social. They don't want to give up the number. If you knew you could give up the number to be financially independent, but you got to start from zero, most people not giving up their number. Why? Because they got a welfare mentality. They got an entitlement mentality. The government owes me something. If the government and the people, how they owe you something? No one wants to hear that people got to start from zero because they got an entitlement mentality. Oh, somebody else got it better than me in life, but they supposedly spiritual. If you know who you are, you can always make a change. If you know who you are, you always can make the situation better. So let's talk that talk. But what happens is most people aren't confident in the information that they have. Their spirit and spiritual information is trying to supplement that. But in all actuality, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to let go of what you don't want. If you want to be wealthy, why would you need a social security insurance number? Oh, trust Christian, but I'm moving through the process, so that means I got to stop using it. How you going to stop using it and you're not wealthy yet? You're not even rich. But I thought I wasn't supposed to use it no more. No, we never said that at the vote. We never said that. We say you don't own it. Can we say that publicly? Won't you go ask your local public official that? Since people want to say, oh, you telling us some conspiracy information. No, let's have that conversation in the public. Can you own a social security number? No. So why do you say you have one? Because the public has been conditioned into a ownership mentality, which is a liability mentality. Oh, if I own something, that means that it's mine. Yeah, right. How many of y'all know where somebody actually buys the house, doesn't have a mortgage, but if they don't pay them property taxes, they don't own that house anymore? See how easy, see why ownership doesn't mean you really own it? So people think that they own the social and they speak about it that way. And it stops them from doing business out here. Oh man, the social security number. What about a social security number? It's just a business number. Trustees don't, so the trustees are learning how to sign properly, but how many people know how to sign properly? Oh, they didn't tell me that in public school, Trust Christian. Right, because we're a private organization. We're a private education. You have to know what did they do in the Matrix? Neo got out of the Matrix. He still went back in the Matrix. When you get out of the matrix, you don't just leave the matrix and don't go back in the matrix. Most of y'all gonna go back in the matrix because y'all like it. Y'all like them steaks. Y'all like the ladies in the red dress. Y'all like the fake this. Y'all like debt. Y'all don't want to hear this. Oh, trust Christian involved. I don't like debt. Nah, most people do. The society is built on debt. How you gonna get a new house if you didn't build it from scratch? Somebody else built it on a loan. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna buy it in cash or are you gonna go get the house on a loan? If the house was built on a loan, how are you gonna acquire the house? These are the questions people gotta ask themselves when they sit here and say, "Oh man, I don't have a social. I don't want a social. I don't want to be in this position." Well, what are you gonna do to get out of it? Are you gonna go get debt? Or are you going to establish some level of credit base? Most people don't even know what private credit is. Do you have private lending relationships? How many have that, ladies and gentlemen? They don't. That's the reality. No social? Nah, Trust Christian, it's too hard to live without social security number. That means A, you're not going to get any benefits anymore. Oh, really? You know how many people really want to live with no social? They don't. They just want to be. Most people don't. It's not that they don't want a social. They want to be free. Now, if they want to be anarchist, that's another story. But if you want to be free, going about it the way that they're going about it, that's not the way to go about it. Because first of all, if you're going to use the social sometime or part time, you didn't give it up, and you're not going private. Trustee says, somebody comes to us the other day, oh, but Trust Christian, how am I going to get the EIN number if I'm not supposed to use the social? Then when we talk to them about methods to do that, oh, I wasn't able to execute. I wasn't able to find people to help me out. Exactly, because you're not a businessman or a businesswoman. Because if you are a businessman or a businesswoman, you're going to hire and fire. You're going to find talent and you're going to get talent to do what you needed to do. You're going to be a leader. These are the conversations that we have in the private. Oh no, I wasn't able to execute that, Trust Christian Vault. We know you weren't because you're not operating in the business mentality. You're not operating in the business fashion. They're not operating in the business capacity. They're thinking like an employee. They're taking public employee thought process and trying to apply it to the private. Almost like it's a handout. Almost like somebody's supposed to do something for you. Like somebody's supposed to help you get wealthy. Somebody's supposed to help you protect your wealth. Where is that written? So when we get into these environments, private environments, it's an honor because these wealthy families traditionally don't want other families in a room that don't qualify to be in a room. They don't want them. They don't want people in a room. They don't want people in a room. Some people say, "Oh man, Trust Christian, what you mean? Did you make it in the room yet? Are you? Do you? It's like asking you all, have you seen a Ferrari commercial or a Lamborghini commercial or a Rolls Royce commercial? The reason why you don't see these car companies commercials, because the clientele that they're advertising to, they don't need to advertise mass media. It's not to say they don't create a 30-second commercial and post it on their website, but they're not going out their way to be a Toyota. They're not going out their way to be a Honda. They're just around. Some of the more expensive cars, they're just around. How is their marketing? First of all, they sell less cars than the other companies. So their marketing budget? Do they even have a marketing budget? It's because some people are thinking big business and some people are thinking small business. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just business. Some people aren't thinking business. They think they just gonna get in trustee training. Oh man, I'm gonna get in trustee training with my personal name, and then I'm gonna try to do business. Trust Christian Vault. I'm gonna try to do business. I'm gonna try, and that's why they don't do. See, when they come to the vault, they learn accountability. So they see that it says no refunds in the section, but then you think that stops people from hitting the refund button? No, they see no refund on the thing, but they still hit it. Why? Because they're not thinking business. They're thinking personal. This isn't McDonald's. It's no have it your way. You're in a system. Did you change public school from being the system that it is? No. Then why? How are you going to change the private system? We're giving people the facts so they can make a quality decision on whether this is a path they want to keep going. They come out, they say, "Oh, I want to go private," and then when it's time to take the instruction, it's, "Oh, that goes against my teaching. That goes against my public school teaching." Fair. Of course, it's going to go against your public school education. Did that make you a millionaire? Think about how much public information is out there. It's not cranking out millionaires on the ease. It's not, because the system isn't made for that. The system is run by people that don't even make $100,000 a year. Most average school teacher don't make more than $100,000 a year. How are you going to be upset that the system isn't cranking out millionaires? You're sitting in front of somebody, your child sitting in front of somebody that's not a millionaire. In order to be in trusteeship and be a millionaire, we have to associate with people that are in trusteeship, and we have to go associate with millionaires actively. Actively. There's no sitting around waiting. Oh man, I'm in trusteeship now. So, with Trust Christian, I'm in trusteeship. When the universe gonna start sending people in trust to me? Doesn't work that way. We're a small group of people and you gotta find us. So, oh yeah, Trust Christian, you told me I didn't have to use the social security number ever again once I'm in trusteeship. Yeah, that also means that you got some shekels in your pocket. That also means you got some money. What does that mean? Because if you have substantial amounts of capital, you can hire people to do things in trusteeship. How are you going to hire someone to do something in trusteeship if you don't have a significant amount of capital? We got mentors that'll say you should not be in trusteeship unless you have $1 million. Period. Cash. And they say more than that. So you think about that. Oh man, I'm not. People, we got this one line right now. People reach out to the phone. Oh, I'm not ready right now. I'm not ready. You're not ready for asset protection, but you're working every day. And your greatest asset is not insured, but you're not ready. You're right. Poverty based mentality is not ready for wealthy based mentality. Wealthy based mentality will make the sacrifice on the short term so it can have long term success. Whereas poverty mentality says, "Oh no, I'm gonna just keep working, Trust Christian in the vault. I got a business that's generating over $5,000 to $10,000 a month, but I don't think I need to protect that asset. Not only that, I don't even have insurance on me because it costs money, and I'm ignorant, and I don't know that this is a write off for the owner. I don't know that this is a form of executive compensation." Oh, right. So you got trustees that'll say, "Oh, Trust Christian, I didn't know." You're right, you did know, so let's learn it. Oh, Trust Christian Revolt, social security number. First of all, what's wrong with social security number? It's a number that's utilized in commerce. It's a number. Can you get a new one? Yep, from what we heard. Can you stop using it? Yep. But think about this, ladies and gentlemen. How many people stop using it? They don't. Most people don't. So if you say, "Oh, well, who does stop using it?" People that have the capital. Oh, really, Trust Christian? So I really can't stop using it until I have a certain amount of capital and structure in place. Because there are people that have significant capital, but they still don't know that they don't have to do personal things anymore with the social. Fair. So there are people that are aware, and when they get to a level, they stop using it. Some people do it naturally. Oh, I just stopped using the social. Yeah, of course, because you have an assistant, you have this person, you have that person, you have companies. It's hard work, baby. It's hard work to get out of poverty. It's hard work to stop using the social. Trust Christian, I heard you say this, so I'm gonna stop using it tomorrow. How you gonna stop using it tomorrow? What, you about to stop doing stuff with it? So if you stop using it tomorrow, here we go. This is what is funny. We were talking to a trustee the other day. Their lawyers and their accountants are going to tell them they're too early for trusteeship. So, okay. Are you too early to stop using the social? Is that what you all want your accountant to say? "Oh no, you can't stop using your social." Is that what you want your accountant to say? "No, you can't stop using the social. Trust Christian say you can, but who is he? That's not financial advice. I'm gonna go get the professional accountant and lawyer, and I'm gonna get them to say what? I'm gonna get them to say what? I'm gonna get them to say that, oh yeah, you're not ready right now. And then they come back to us, oh yeah, we're not ready because the lawyer said we're not ready to be in the same position that a Bill and Melinda Gates or Warren Buffett when they're active business people. It's not even like they're truly retired. Bill Gates ain't retired. Warren Buffett's not retired. This man almost 80, 90 years old, still working every day, looking at stocks. How is he retired? Because he's in trusteeship. But these are the lines that we want to say low. There are people that are in these professions that don't know. But people want to sit here and say, oh man, trust Christian involved, man, I want to stop using the social, but then you're not trying to make no money. You got to make some money. What do you need a trust for as a trustee if you don't have no property to protect? One of the pieces of property is money, gold, silver, hard, tangible assets. Nah, Trust Christian, I don't really want none of that paper money, that fiat money. That stuff, it ain't even legit. People over here, man, the dollar's going to go to zero. Man, ain't no dollar going to zero. So first of all, how is the number one currency in the world going to go to zero, but the rest of them that's under it ain't? This is the asinine thoughts that people have because they really have fear in their heart. They got fear in their heart. I want everyone to hear this. Trust Christian Vote. We want to speak this to you loud and clear. Fear says that. That's not a growth mentality. That is a fear-based mentality. Growth says the dollar may not be the strongest currency in the world, but we want it to be competitive. No doubt about it. That's like saying, yeah, Americans, they're not going to be strong. They're not going to be competitive. If you're an American, you're competing against other cultures and other countries. Nah, Trust Christian, I don't really want that dollar stuff to succeed. I'm living in that country. My dollar goes far in the world, but I don't want it to go far in the world no more. I want it to be at zero. But you don't have a currency to replace it. And if you want Bitcoin to replace it, you might as well say you want the government to replace it. Why? First of all, y'all know y'all get on fiat paper money because it's not a hard tangible asset, correct? Y'all say it's not backed by gold. What's Bitcoin backed by? Is Bitcoin backed by gold? No. Is Bitcoin on the internet? Is that a hard tangible asset? No. But for some odd reason, people want to start putting their faith in this currency. That's why people are so hit or miss with this no social security lifestyle. Because it's a gradual process for most people. People going in the bank, oh man, I'm having a hard time at the bank. Why are you having a hard time at the bank? Because I don't want to give up my social security number. Is your social security number, or is it a number that most people operate within the society to open up bank accounts and do business with? You don't have to use the social to go to the bathroom, do you? No. Okay, so it's for business purposes. It's not for bathroom purposes. Right, it's for business purposes. It's not for bathroom purposes. So we do utilize it for business purposes. It's not for chilling. It's not for relaxation. It's not for the randoms. It's for a purpose. Now, can we utilize it as an employee, or can we utilize it as a entrepreneur? Surprisingly, there is a thing called an employer identification number. So it traditionally means that you are an employer, which means you're employing people. But how many people can show us a law that says you have to have a social security number and use it as a business owner? People don't show us that. But in the beginning, if that's the way you got to start out, that's the way you start out. It's not the end of the world that you start out that way. That's just not the way most people are going to finish after they go through the training, after they've succeeded with the training and they learn the system. You start out that way, but you grow into another position. Christian at trustchristian.com if you want to go through Trustee Training. We are working on a real estate webinar right now. We're going to have maybe 5 or 6, 7 different states. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, Christian at trustchristian.com. We got a webinar that we're going to do for real estate coming up here for trustees across the country to network. So be on the lookout. It's going to be this month, November. We're going to do our best to pick like a relaxed day where people can just come on. It'll be about 2 hours. It's going to be a networking session. It'll be low cost, little small door entry fee just to come in, and you'll be able to network with other people. We have a bunch of trustees right now that are in real estate that have Airbnbs. So we're going to blast that out, really do our best to get them on that webinar, and then you all can connect with each other in those local areas and even possibly build some relationships and go do some work, do some things together. So look forward to connecting with you all, connecting you all in general. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. And one more time, it's Christian at trustchristian.com for trustee training, peace, and joy.